Hey everyone, Dan here. Before we get into it, if you enjoy these videos, please hit the like and subscribe button. And keep in mind that these are my own thoughts, opinions, and ideas. These are not meant to be, nor should you take them as investment or trading advice in any way, shape, or form. Do your own due diligence, put in the work for yourself, and make your decisions based on that. Enjoy.
All right, folks, here we are on Saturday, March 9th. We're going to take a look at Draftkings today. So Draftkings, as I'm sure you know by now, has had this nice push up from about 15.5 up over 45 as of late. And now it's getting a little bit sort of sticky, which we've obviously seen happen in the past after pushes, right? It pushes up, it gets a little sticky at a period, and then it kind of pushes up to the next level and then can get very sticky. And so, whether this will prolong itself as a sticky zone or if it's going to move off of it, we'll have to wait and see. But it's quite dippy. I was wondering if it's going to sort of put in something looking like a cup and a handle. This handle's getting mighty low for my liking, but we'll see. The only potential saving grace here could be if it is sort of double bottoming around this like 41.57 level. It was 41.57 was the low here, 41.52 was the low here. So I don't like to see the lower low. I'd rather see that coming out like 41.60 or higher. So we'll see if there's kind of a sell-off coming, or if it's going to be able to recover from here. That 40.43 level held nicely. You see it sort of struggled to get through it here, and then it came up, bounced off of our 44.79 level, and then came down and caught it there at the 40.43, came up again, bounced off the 44.79 level, came down, and is now sort of pinning to the 42.29. So here's where I'm sort of wondering, are we going to get something that looks like more of a prolonged kind of range like we saw here, which is a pretty big percentage range, but is relatively sideways compared to like the chaos of this sort of roller coaster ride. But we'll see. But if it does push through that 44.79, 47.68 is the next level up that we have there. I don't know if we put it. Okay, so we have 50.75 as well. If it does approach that $50 level, we'll see. Now if it does dip 40.43 like we spoke about before, that's held thus far. We'll see what that continues to do. 38.75 if it loses that $40 level, and then there is a gap down here. It would get into around 36.44, would fill it not quite at 35.24, would fill it at about 35.53, but then there is that support level at 35.24. If it gets very dippy, 31.85. There's some more granular levels in between these. There's several of them. There's probably one around here, around like 37.50 or so. There's some down here for sure. Yeah, like here at around 33.60 or so. But I didn't put in every single little level just because it makes it hard to read the chart. So just know there's going to be some granular levels in between these, but I felt that these were the stronger levels to kind of use as guideposts, if you will. Now, on the Thinkorswim side of things, this shows you this like sort of remarkable climb of Draftkings. Now, of interest here, it is triggering, and well, it triggered, fired, and now is triggering again. So, typically I would just sort of contain this as one continuous trigger, if you will. So we'll see how that plays out, or what that wants to do. We see back here we had a very brief trigger and fire, and that set off this really big jump. Is a really good call out. When it fired, it was down here in the 33 or so range, and that brought it up to 45. So really good call out there, really good percentage gain on the TTM squeeze indicator. So really nice setup at the moment, pinned to the mid-range of the channel while it's triggering on the TTM squeeze indicator. So that's typically what I like to see. Now the question is always, when it fires, well, first of all, does anything happen, right? Because we can certainly have misfires. No indicator, no anything is 100%. So it can trigger and fire and nothing happens. So that's one. But if it does trigger and fire and there is a big move, which is what we look for, we don't know which way it goes. So sort of reading the tea leaves and trying to pick up on sort of glimmers in one direction or the other of, okay, is this going to be a big move to the upside or downside? That's always the tricky part of the equation. But in terms of, is it potentially gearing up for a big move? Looks like it could be. We'll see how it takes shape, but if it does, these levels that we have in the chart stretch from 29 all the way up to 50. So, and right now it's sort of mid-ish range of those at 41. And so we'll see where it wants to go. But it does have a few gaps to the downside. We'll see if those come into play at all. I don't know if there's any gaps to the upside. Probably not. No. I mean, with a very quick look, I don't see any. But so just be aware of that. Gaps to the downside, none to the upside at the moment. That said, not all gaps are made equal. So some of them may just sort of like get bypassed and not fill over time. And some of them may be more apt to fill relatively quickly. All right, folks, I hope that you enjoy your weekend. And as always, I appreciate you watching, and I will see you in the next video.